All right, up next, I got the Miami Dolphins at uh, New York Jets. New York Jets impressed me. I've been really high on them ever since they beat Pittsburgh, uh, and really high in saying that high for the Jets. Uh, I'm not high on them in the sense that they're going to make any noise in the playoffs or even make the playoffs, but high in the sense that they're not going to be a complete disaster like they normally are. Their offense is really got a bunch of decent playmakers on there. Garrett Wilson hasn't made a bunch of noise recently, but I think that he's a great piece addition to that offense. I think Zach Wilson is coming along. I think their defense is great, not great, but pretty darn solid. And I think that the Jets could tease those Jets fans into thinking that they can maybe make a wild card. I don't think they'll quite do it. I think they'll get about 8 wins this year. But they're a good team to pick this year or bet on because usually they're gonna be the underdog in these games because they don't really have a whole lot of skill players. As for the Miami Dolphins, they do not look the same. I thought Teddy Two Gloves was done after he was done with the Saints. He did horrible with the Broncos, and the game he came in where Tua got hurt, he looked decent when he came in for him against the Bengals, but he's done. His career's cooked. I'm sorry. He has too many injuries. He doesn't play the same as he played when he was with Minnesota. He just doesn't. Even with Minnesota at his peak, he was like a top 14 quarterback, and now he's just a shell of himself. Um, Dolphin season, I'm sorry to say it, is cooked. It's done. I love Tyreek. I love Jalen Waddle. I was really high on them when Tua was in there, but they just cannot get that offense going without Tua in there. And the Jets, again, I'm really impressed with the Jets. They look pretty decent. And I think that has a lot to do with Saleh, the coach. Uh, their team has slowly but surely been molding together, and that's pretty impressive knowing how destructive they were within self-destructive they were within the organization. They kept shooting themselves in the foot with picks and trades and games and just everything. They just looked bad at everything they did. And then this year, they finally look like they got something positive going after having a good draft and beating some decent teams this year. And even in the games they got beat, they were in. So I think that the Jets have a shot at making about 8 or 9 wins this year, but the Dolphins, they're my brother's team, but I'm sorry, man. I think they're toast. I think you admitted it yourself, but I'm officially saying Dolphins are toast.